Hey, what's going on, everybody? You're listening to Marrio Esco Live, where we like to interview people who are actively serving the community, share testimonies, music videos, exclusive updates and announcements, and really we just want to utilize the platform to encourage, edify, challenge if necessary as we go over various topics and subjects. We're not perfect and we don't have all the answers, but we're firm believers in iron sharpening iron, and we really just want to build and edify together. So with that said, I hope you're blessed and enjoy the show. Grace and peace. Yo, what up, everybody? This is your host, Marrio Esco. Alongside me is my brother and co-host, Gil Vargas. Mike, you already in. What up? What's going on, man? What's going on? As people come in,
we're going
to welcome you guys as you guys jump in. Any questions or anything you guys have? What up, Kevin? What's going on, brother? Stick with us. We got some things to discuss. I would love to hear you guys' opinions and thoughts on some of the things we want to talk about today. As you can see, I posted a link to Thi'sl. If you guys didn't hear about Thi'sl, he was shot this week. But by God's grace, he's expecting full recovery. So praise God for that.
Praise God.
What up,
indeed.
brother Mike? This dude, let me jump into this real quick. This dude, right? This is what he says real quick. If you guys don't know, Thi'sl is a highly influential Christian hip hop rapper. The dude has been putting in work not only as an artist, but he's out in the streets, man, preaching and proclaiming the gospel to these people out in the streets, man. And he says this, check this out right here. So if you guys ain't up to date on what happened with Thi'sl, he was shot. At first, people thought it was he got shot multiple times, but it's because where the bullet ended up exiting, it exited three parts of his body.
It fragmented.
It fragmented it and it exited into three parts of his leg. So let me see. It says right here, 3 pieces in his inner thigh. So it was only one bullet that hit his femur bone. And it broke it. So the dude's in the hospital right now recovering, expecting a full recovery, but it's gonna be a long time. Yeah, him in the hospital.
Yeah, he can't even move. He can't really do anything.
So check this out. So it was a robbery, armed robbery, attempted robbery. And Thi'sl goes. So the dude, comes to rob him. And Thi'sl goes, by the grace of God, he had a firearm on him, and he was able to pull it and fire back, which is the reason why he says, quote unquote, wasn't totally victimized.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
What do you think about that?
I praise God for protecting Thi'sl, and at the same time, I praise God that he was able to react quickly and defend himself. Ultimately,
praise God for real, man.
You know what I mean? Because some people freeze up; they don't know what to do.
Yeah.
And he could have been right there. It would have been the end of Thi'sl. Yeah. But he was able to react, right, and defend himself, and stop any further harm. And
this dude he actually says, I have the thing right here. He says at first he was upset, and I'm paraphrasing here, but at first he was upset. Rightfully so. I mean, you get shot, you get upset. Bro. These are the same guys that he's out there preaching to, proclaiming the gospel to, faithfully going out there and showing love, and then the dude gets shot. But he says that, at first he got upset, and he's transparent, so thank you for that. At first he got upset, and then he says, but after giving it some thought, he said he's eager to heal up and get back out there.
Because he realizes how much more they need it.
Yeah.
And that right there is true fruit. You know what I mean? Because, we human.
Look at what he said there. Quote, this is the reason why I have to go harder. So these dudes don't have to do this.
Yep.
This will not shake me or change the way I see and view these young men. I still want to see these young men changed. I still want to see them come to know the Creator and experience the saving grace of Christ. Wow.
That's powerful. That's
powerful. Love to Thi'sl, man. We praying for you, brother. There's a link right there to the GoFundMe to help him, support him. If you feel compelled to, go check out that link and support, somebody who's out there serving faithfully in the trenches. You know, so if you feel compelled to, the link is there.
This is all to support him financially in regards to him being able to provide, because he's out of commission, and at the same time any unexpected medical bills or anything that could arise. This is not him trying to get a quick rich thing. This is legitimate. If you go on his page, you will see he's in the hospital recuperating. Not that needs to be validated, but at the same time, this is a real thing, and we would love for you guys to help out this brother in Christ who has, poured himself out and is now in this unfortunate circumstance. And I think the best thing is for us as brothers and sisters to come together and stand with him.
Yeah, that's Thi'sl right there. For those that don't know, I'm sure most of you do know who he is, but that's Thi'sl right there. So the link is to the GoFundMe, just like what Gil was saying. His aim is 24,000. That's the goal. He's currently at 13, a little over 13. So if you feel compelled to, go ahead and check out that link and keep him in prayer. I mean, this is not something that we're trying to push anybody to do.
Yeah.
If you feel compelled to, if you can't, that's keep him in prayer. So shout out to Thi'sl, man. We love you, brother. We're praying for you, man.
No doubt.
So
stay
Gil,
strong.
What else is going on, man?
Man,
Talk to me. How's your week been?
I hurt my back on Monday, bro. So I've been kind of out of commission.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I've been hurt.
Is that why you leaned all the way?
All the way back. I'm sorry if I seem a little disconnected because I'm not like all up in, you know what I mean? Back. But my back is still killing me.
Get on, lean back. Now I'm hungry.
I'm a chill back today, rest up, but I'm good though. I'm leaning the best. I'm going in the right direction. Like my back is not like
Angel, what's up?
Getting worse. It's actually getting better. So
you're good.
I should be good.
Praise God, man.
Amen.
That's what's up.
God is good. It's just some back spasms, It's nothing
Thi'sl
crazy.
Gets shot. Serving the community. Gil gets
man. I'm out here in the hood. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Lifting bottles of water. You know what I'm saying? The struggle's real.
The struggle is real.
No, I'm not trying to throw shade at nobody.
No way. No way.
Put light on anything, but we out here. Poland Springs, kid.
He pulled something at the gym. Nah, it wasn't even at the gym, bro.
Nah, man.
It wasn't even
at work.
He legit was picking up a gallon of water.
No. It was my case.
No, don't make it like this big, bro.
It is this big.
It's a gallon of water,
no,
bro.
man. I was picking up the kit that I use to do maintenance.
Yeah, of course, he's gonna exaggerate the story. No, go ahead.
This is legit. All right, so what I do for a living is I do preventative maintenance and things like that for the water coolers for Poland Springs. So if you rent one, then you getting someone like me. And I lifted up this 75-pound case. No, I'm kidding.
Anyway, so you're good.
Yeah, I'm good, bro.
Praise God. And you're here, and you were able to make it.
Yeah, I'm chilling.
Hey, yo, if Shane comes in here, I know at some point Shane's going to hear this. Shane is stunting, man. What's up with Shane?
Yeah, man. It's just he's so theological right now that he's probably writing his own version of a Bible. No, I'm just kidding. Dude is putting in labor, and I get it. If he can't come through, you know what I mean? He's throwing shade, and he's like, he got more important things. It is what it is.
Nah, Shane, for those that weren't here a few episodes ago, what episode is this? 10? 10
I'm gonna say 10.
I think it's 10. But anyway, a few episodes ago, Shane was with us. He was talking about social justice versus
Marxism.
Cultural Marxism. That was a good episode. Actually, go check that out. And what we want to do is bring Shane aboard as an official host. But, I mean, even if he can't make it, like, he has some conflicting schedule issues right now, but that's all good. The door's always open, brother. We love you, man.
And we need that voice of reason. Yeah. Especially after today.
Yeah, so let's switch up the subject a little bit. Let me see what we got here. So Thi'sl, shout out to Thi'sl. We love you. For those that haven't been following, DeAndre kind of touched up on it. What did DeAndre? Mario looks upset with what's going on. DeAndre's reading it to something else. So I don't know if you guys follow me at all on Facebook, but I made a comment on Facebook that upset a few people.
To say the least.
It upset some people indirectly because, well, I mean, my intention, my motive wasn't directed toward them people specifically. It was actually toward a whole different group of people. And when I talk about people, I'm talking about rappers and media sites. So for those that haven't followed, I made some kind of comment. What did I say? Something about artists. What did I say, man? Something, I don't even know, man. I posted.
The post was,
the next day, man.
Artists, stop thanking Rapzilla for something that you paid for. You know what I mean? Basically, I'm paraphrasing. That's not word for word. But the essence of what you were trying to say, which at least what I picked up and you agreed, is that you were upset with not so much as them paying for a post. You're not paying to get on Rapzilla. That's not the point. It was when offered a promotional package or whatever it is that they said they offer, and you pay for this service. Now they're pushing your stuff, they're covering your music and all this stuff. Now the artist is like, yo, Rapzilla, shout out to Rapzilla. Like if they picked it up out of talent, like, yo, this dude is sick, let's just promote him, let's put in work, let's get this dude known, when in reality they were paid to do it.
I gotcha.
So that's corny. You know what I mean? If you pay somebody,
I thank you for explaining my motive behind the post. No, really. I mean, I'm not being sarcastic. I'm like,
that's what
totally
I took.
Forgot. But yeah, so I said artists, please. Oh, CHH artists, Christian hip hop artists, please stop doing this. Thanking Rapzilla for covering your something like this. Paraphrasing, for covering your music when you paid him to do so. Something like that. And the point, like you said, was. People who paid for a service and then are trying to publicly give thanks as a way to make everyone aware that top media site, or a big influential media site covered you. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that was my point.
At least that's how I took it.
No, that was my point.
Yeah, but it went left. Highly.
Yeah. So everybody started jumping on. And then all of a sudden the whole it seemed like, I don't know how big Rapzilla is, but they said that it's a small team. I know that Chad jumped in. I know that who else jumped in?
Wait, Chad is the owner.
Chad is the owner of Rapzilla, Chad Horton. Chad jumped in. Who else jumped in? Justin, I don't know how to pronounce his last name. Just one of the editors of Rapzilla jumped in. Made some comments. At the end of that conversation that I had with Justin, though, I can sense like his sincerity. Like I was being sarcastic.
Yeah.
I was just like at least once a day or whatever, like I see somebody posting something about thank you Rapzilla, whatever. So in my head I'm like, in my time at one time, I don't know, what did it say, 4 years ago or something like that?
Yeah.
Okay, so I guess 4 years ago, they offered open advertisement to a bunch of artists at one time.
Which is called Up Next or something like that.
No, I think that was part of it, but then there was some other things. And then, so it was my understanding that you pay for the advertisement. That was my understanding.
That you pay to post.
Yeah, you pay to post. You pay to get you covered, right? So everyone jumped in. Everyone's, much respect to Justin. I do respect where he's coming from. He's trying to defend his, what he believes to be, something that he believes is effective within the community, CHH community, and he's defending, he's defending his organization that he works for. He's the editor of Rapzilla, so I could tell that he was just concerned. He was trying to defend the integrity of Rapzilla. So I completely understand that. Much respect to you. And I actually said that in the post as well. And my whole thing is like, okay, cool. You made some changes, and I'm happy to hear them that they made changes. And it was just, I apologize for misunderstanding how the business structure of Rapzilla was.
Yep. Honest break. It's an honest, mistake.
These brothers down south do that too. I'm not sure what you're referring to, Mike, if you want to address that. But
he's saying like that do the same thing as like Rapzilla does.
Oh, okay.
There's a brother down south that does that too.
Oh, that's what's up. So yeah, so Rapzilla, they came in, they chimed in, they said this stuff, and then he clarified. So this is his clarification, pretty much at the end of it all, what I got from the thread, and I left the thread there. It is what it is. Like, people were going back and forth and have different opinions, but it is what it is. Like, I'm gonna speak my mind. If I was wrong, I was wrong. If I misunderstood something and something changed, fine. You know, whatever. I'm gonna say what I say. You say what you say. You leave it there. You know. I got you. All right, cool, Mike. And so, they corrected me. Chad corrected me. Justin corrected me. Rapzilla corrected me. And I'll put a little what they set up here real quick. Pretty much, you know, here you see them saying, you know, this is how rumors are started, and the brand is tarnished. That wasn't my objective. And Greg here says, well, clear it up. You don't pay to post. You're right. Your music has to be good enough to some bored listening. LOL, even worse. So here's this is Greg's statement saying, all right, some bored. And then Rapzilla comes back and says, we decide. It's all objective, being everything is based on opinion. And then it goes on. You guys can look back and see. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Oops, my bad. But anyway, so pretty much at the end of the day, it's a small group that go through everybody's content, and then they decide who's good enough according to the small group that's listening to all the artist submissions. And according to Justin, they get thousands of submissions at a time. And I don't know. I'm just thinking, if you get a bunch of submissions, it'll be impressive if they get through all of them. And then I'm not sure what the deadline is or how it operates after that. Like, what is it, like a month after you go through some? I don't know what it is. Yeah. So pretty much a small group goes through a bunch of submissions, and then they decide at the end of the day, you know, who gets selected based on what they like. And
which I found interesting, because I mean, usually, at least from my experience, which is not as much as Chad and the guys there, but at least from what I've noticed, is that the crowd and the industry of people, consumers, really decide what's hot and what's not. Because a radio station can broadcast whatever they want, but if the people don't request for it to be replayed, or they request it to, you know, just continuously play, they remove it. They're like, well, this song is not popping, and they just keep it moving.
Yeah.
But it's always based on what the people want. And that removes any biasness, that removes any question of, why did they always play this people's music, or why do they always choose this label or that? It removes that, because they're like, hey, it's not our fault if you don't get played, because it's the people.
So... You know? Okay, so yeah, so that was a
so I found that weird that they said a group.
I think you know, a lot of people question that as well. A few creators jumped in and questioned that, and I guess that's what we're left with. I mean, that's the way they organize. You know, they structure their business or their organization, whatever. So it is what it is. So how Rapzilla functions according to their statements, and you know, you could check that thread. Chad jumps in. He's the president of Rapzilla. Rapzilla jumped in. Justin jumped in, the editor, and so they clarified that up for us. So they don't offer advertisement open to everybody. The small team gets together, reviews the music that's submitted, and they pick and choose which one is good enough to get through, and then they offer those advertisement options after the fact. Rep the King Mag, yes sir, yep.
Oh, that's the one. Is that the brothers that he's talking about?
Yeah, yeah. Rep the King Mag down south. Yep. Shout out to them. I love them brothers. They covered me. Actually, Rapzilla actually covered me too. So I found it kind of weird how Chad was saying that I was feeling salty, but it is what it is, man. I mean, they covered me a few times. They had a track that I did with Jeremiah Blajan. They had My First Spiritually Dead, and I believe they had Steel Cypher on their site as well. I'm not sure if they had the God of a Porn video that I did with Wrath and Grace and Result, but They actually did cover me. They mentioned something about Christ-centric. I love them brothers. There's a solid ministry. I love Will and my boy Goya. I think he's changing his name now. I don't know what he goes by now, but I'm sure a few people know. He's changing
his name?
Yeah. I think he's going by his real name. I'm not sure. But shout out to them. I love them brothers. So I don't know what Rapzilla was talking about because I'm not with Christ-centric. Never was with Christ-centric.
Nothing against them either.
No. I love them brothers. I love their ministry and what they stand for. So it was just a big misunderstanding on my part. So I apologize, Rapzilla, for not knowing that you guys made changes to the way you do the advertisement and the submissions and stuff like that. So yeah, like I said, small group of people who decide, who's good enough to get in, and then they provide those advertisements. And we could discuss a little bit deeper on the issues that I do have at another time. But I just wanted to put that out there now for anybody who've been following my posts and seen that post and understand the motive behind, what I was doing. I wasn't doing that with any ill intentions. I was just seeing a bunch of stuff and I speak my mind, and it is what it is. So anyway, today, what we discussing, brother?
Well,
today,
we're talking about Satan and his righteous servants.
Yes, sir. Satan and his righteous servants.
Which is like oxymoron.
Well, where I got that from is 2 Corinthians. What's it? Chapter 11. Let me see if I can find it here. Okay, here we go. So Paul is writing a letter to the Church of Corinth, who are facing all kinds of issues right now. And they're facing a danger of walking away from the faith. And so he addresses the men. Well, he addresses them for falling for the false preaching of certain individuals who are coming into the camp pretending to be apostles of Christ. That's where the verse came from. That's where the concept of the title came from, where he says, for such men are false apostles, deceitful. This is 2 Corinthians chapter 11, verses 12 to 15. A deceitful workmen disguising themselves as apostles of Christ. And no wonder, for even Satan disguises himself as an angel of light, and so it is no surprise if his servants also disguise themselves as servants of righteousness. Their end will correspond to their deeds. So that's where this all came from.
Yep.
That's where the thought came from. Where the devil can appear in the form of an angel of light. So it's no wonder why his servants will take on the same type of tactics and run with it, to appear to be servants of righteousness. So in a biblical sense, this is talking about, false apostles. But what we want to talk about more so is just like situations where people face things that might appear to be something that's good, but in the end, it's something that's actually dangerous, like spiritually dangerous. That's what I kind of want to, go with.
Like, how do you navigate through that? Like,
not even like examples, like things that come up in your life, man, where you're like, some people would say, this opportunity, one door closes, another one opens. One door, this door closed, that one open. It looks appealing. It looks good to the eye. It looks good enough to eat. Sounds familiar, right?
Very.
It's tempting to eat. That's what I want to talk about. Like those situations where you come across something and then you're just sitting there like, well, it is appealing. I do want to do this thing.
Yeah.
Don't yab me.
It happened to me. It happened to me in my own personal life. No, I'm up. I'm just trying to think of different scenarios, but I just figured, you know what? No better scenario than my own life. I was just trying to think of a scenario, like something that you can relate to with what you just said. But I'm like, it might as well just talk about myself.
Go ahead. Share your story, man.
I mean, I was previously married.
That's a deep one.
Hey, but it's the facts.
All right, go ahead.
That's why I was saying, I was trying to think of a story. So it wasn't that I was like sleeping. It's just I'm like thinking like, okay, what is something that is good enough to eat, or like you put it,
Mike's
or something cool, and it could be damaged.
What up, Leo? What up, Shane? What up, Mom? Mom Dukes.
So for me,
Leslie. What up, Leslie? What's up with Gil? He's sleeping and very serious.
Oh, what?
Yo, thank you. My
back is hurting, so I gotta lean back a little bit.
My back hurts, bro.
I gotta lean back a little bit.
Lean back.
It's lean back.
You know what's funny, Ma? I told him the same. I was like, listen.
It's not that I have no energy or I'm too serious. It's just, it's a serious topic.
All right, yeah, true. All right,
and especially about what my story is. I'm not gonna be like, this is hilarious. Check this out. Remember that one time when my life ended? Like, what the heck? What the hell? Like, how can I ease into a story like that happening?
Go ahead. No, this is real. Tell him to wake up. I always tell him to wake up. Go ahead. Okay.
So
tell us the story.
I was previously married, you know what I mean, and at that time, wifey wanted to go to Cali as our honeymoon.
That's a great example.
And
actually,
from that honeymoon, it spurred to moving to Cali, and everything seemed beautiful. Everything seemed dope. But
I mean, moving to somewhere though.
Well, yeah.
Okay, so tell me,
uprooting your whole life.
Okay, all right. So tell me what was appealing to that thing? Like, what made it? Okay, what was appealing to make the move, and then spiritually, what was the neglect on your part spiritually? Because to get up and move to Cali is not a sinful thing.
No,
you know what I mean.
The sinfulness wasn't in the move. So
He's in the zone. He definitely is.
Who's in the zone? Yeah. See, Mike, thank you for giving my back. I am woke. Always woke.
Jesus, what's up, Shane? Shane says him and his wife are watching. Yo, Shane, he's about to share this is a serious story.
So this is for real?
Yeah, this is for real. And I was here throughout that whole experience.
Yeah, man.
I mean, I know it's
I can't go into this like, yo, guys, this story is hilarious.
Oh, my God.
Here's a story. How about my life got flipped upside down?
So go ahead. So what happened?
That right there was a little insight from my wife. I love you, baby. Anyway,
go ahead.
So this whole entire thing is about going to Cali. Wifey at that time wanted to go to Cali. She always wanted to do that.
Yeah,
everything was about Cali, and so a part of me, wanted to make her happy.
Yeah. But you wanted the palm trees too. Don't front.
And then the other side was I loved it. I went out there. It was
It's
bomb.
Beautiful.
The people were sick. Like
they were sick. I would have stayed home.
The people were dope. Like very nice. They were doped up all the time. No, they were really nice everywhere I went. The culture, like it was just dope. I enjoyed it. A lot of people are like, yo, I thought they were stuck up or whatever. I didn't see that. I would say maybe more Hollywood area because it's more bougie and more money. Maybe, I don't know. But where I was, which was San Diego, it was dope. Anyway, I digress.
Go ahead.
So we made the move.
Yep.
And as far as I was concerned, I
so wait.
Did all my checks.
Slow down. What checks were those?
That's what I'm saying. According to me.
What checks?
It was beautiful.
There were palm trees.
It was palm trees. It was hot. No snow.
Wait, but they did have snow.
Yeah, if I drove the Big Bear.
Yeah, but I'm saying like you like to snowboard too.
Yeah, so that was
come on.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
Come on.
All right, my bad. So yeah, they also had snow, so I can actually go snowboarding.
You don't know,
if
like
those don't know,
be doing like
I'll snowboard
and doing all that kind of stuff.
I get it in. But anyway, so I'm like, everything seems perfect. I get to have snow, I get to have beautiful weather, and I can choose.
Yeah.
If I don't want snow, I don't have to have it. That's dope. And then we have everything else checked out. Like I wanted to be a barber. Dope school out there. Everything seemed beautiful. It was the #1 school in the country.
I bet.
I mean, well, in Cali. And I'm like, yo, so everything's good. The one thing I didn't really follow through 100% was making sure.
Listen carefully.
Making sure I had my church and all that. Like I should have at least did my research on where I was gonna go. We did that when we got there.
Gotcha.
When we got there, that's when we were like, all right, we should probably start looking for a church. Did you not
see those warnings before you went? Like when you asked, when you asked people, because you did seek wise counsel, right?
I did. No, I did seek wise counsel.
It's not that you need permission. That's not what it's about. It's not about permission. It's just about accountability. Matter of fact, that's good to go into what we're talking about as well. Because if you notice in what we're talking about, the servants of righteousness, right, are going forth and are threatening the church of Corinth. And here comes Paul holding them accountable and giving them a heads up.
Facts.
Right?
Facts.
So you went to seek wise counsel, not permission, just like, hey, check my motives, right? That's all it is.
And everybody just kept, or at least the brothers that I spoke to was and I believe you was one of them. You just said count the cost. Like, you got to count the cost, bro. I can't decide for you. You got to count the cost.
That's right.
And the way I took that was just make sure that I'm making the right decision for my family. But even that wasn't 100%
like this. Palm trees, beautiful sunset, warm
all the time.
Oh my goodness, everything checks out.
Tacos everywhere I go. Yo, those tacos everywhere. I got Mexican just for that one part.
Hold up. Mike is Mexican, man.
They not wrong with Mexicans. I love Mexicans.
Mike,
best
I'm just
food.
assuming now.
One of the best foods. I won't say all of the best. One of the best foods. Because then the Puerto Ricans are going to get on here and be like, what?
What about quenepas? Pero qué pasó con el quenepas?
What happened with the quenepas and the plátanos maduros?
Maduros. Why do they gotta say it like that?
Because that's how you say plátanos maduros
in English. Doesn't that translate like the really hard plátanos?
Maduro.
Excuse me, can I have really hard plátanos?
That's how un-Spanish this dude is.
Why?
He said maduros is hard.
Excuse me, do you have the really hard plátanos? No, come on.
Maduro is ripe in Spanish.
Oh, well,
freaking guy.
Maduro, that's like a lot of hard.
A lot of hard.
These bananas are.
Yes.
Plátano Maduro.
That is the best, because this is recorded forever. That Maduro to him is mucho hard. Lots of hard.
Whoa. Relax.
I want the hardest banana you got up in this
Hold up, man. Relax. Relax.
Yo, this dude.
Goodness.
This is awesome.
Gracious.
Maduro is
this
right.
Is not. This is something that I will cut off if we've pre-recorded this. Man.
I'm just saying.
We're live.
That was your words.
We're live, brother.
Your words.
Goodness. Yeah, I said. The platano, the
hardest platano in the place.
No,
give me the hardest one.
Yeah, all right.
I want you to knock on them.
All right.
But anyway,
go ahead.
So yeah,
so you got the.
So we moved out there,
Maduro.
and we got
the canepas. Go ahead, keep going.
So it comes to find out, I didn't really do everything I was supposed to do spiritually, and I flopped.
And as far as. Y'all making me hungry.
Yes, Gary alone. What's going on, Gary?
What up, Gary? Plátano maduro.
Yeah, man. Don't make me. I'll start going. Guisao. Now you're coming up with some real good stuff.
Y bichuela.
That's
baby,
amazing.
Actually, Sammy's in here. Sammy, you got the hint, baby.
Yo, my wife be eating some really exotic.
Sammy, you got the hint. All right, go ahead. My bad. So you went out.
If there's any Puerto Ricans, if you guys like guanime, I can't trust you.
Who said this?
Guanime. Yeah, that right there is as Puerto Rican as it gets. If y'all don't know what guanime is, look it up.
Please.
Look it up.
This dude got ready for the show.
I did not get ready. I didn't know we were going to talk about Puerto Rican food. Anyway.
That's on the dock.
It's on the dock. You stupid. So I didn't do what I was supposed to do in regards to my marriage.
Yeah. Okay. Whoa. You got to clarify what you didn't do.
Okay.
Man.
So I didn't wash my wife with the word. We didn't have a good church.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like there wasn't any dialogue of scripture ever, really. Okay. You know, there was never
but for the decision I'm talking about, like
in the decision to move to Cali.
Yeah, like what we're talking about is the opportunity that was present.
Yeah, so the opportunity was beautiful because it touched everything that I desired. Emotionally. Yeah, it had the school, it had the weather, it had, no snow, no more shoveling. It appealed to me in every way possible.
Right.
It was like, yes, I'd be stupid not to go.
Now, let me ask you something. When we say appeal to your flesh, we don't mean appeal to a sinful desire. I mean, no, it wasn't, palm tree. If you like palm trees, that's fine. You had the right to like palm trees.
Ain't nothing wrong with palm trees. It was beautiful.
That's God's creation anyway.
Exactly.
But I mean, you like beautiful weather.
But it's when you put your flesh over what God
in other words,
to look at.
If you would have done it differently, what are some steps that you would have took?
Well, the first thing I would have did was find a church. That would have been number one on the top of the list before even looking for schools.
Shout out to 9 Marks Ministry. If you guys are looking for a church, 9 Marks, that's Mark Dever's website.
For sure.
He shows you all that kind of stuff.
Gives you all the marks. That's why it's called 9 Marks, because all the marks that every church that is
what up, Yolanda?
The most edifying should hit. If they don't hit at least 7 of those out of the 9, you should probably bounce.
Right.
Because not every church is perfect.
Right.
But at least a majority of those 9 marks. But anyway.
Go ahead.
I didn't find a church. I didn't, make sure that my wife and I had a good understanding within each other scripturally on our roles. That, to me, was the biggest one. What the Bible commands of me and what the Bible commands of her. And have that clear as day, like, you know your role, I know my role, and let's move forward together as husband and wife. So if you're listening to this...
Wait, what do you mean? So you're talking about roles now?
Yeah, like what is my role as a husband? Like,
so
how do I...
saying that you weren't playing your position?
Biblically? No.
All right. So what are you saying?
Morally, physically, I mean, I was being a husband, but I'm saying in regards to what the Bible commands of me scripturally, I missed. If there was 9 marks for husbands, I missed them all.
Hold on one sec. Mike, I'll send a link for that. Gary, yep, that's what's up. Wow. That's cool to see. Gary says 9 marks is how I found my church when I go to Tennessee from NYC.
Oh, Mike, right there. Tip. Just the link right below where Gary just posted.
Gary,
that's where you want to get your 9
Thank
marks.
You, Gary, for that.
Thanks, Gary.
I appreciate that. Yeah, so 9 marks is a good spot for if you guys are looking for a church. Definitely go there. It teaches you how. Not only does it show you like solid churches and it gives you like locations and everything, specific locations, but it also gives you information on what to look for when you're actually looking for a church, like a biblically sound church.
It's a checklist.
Yeah, so it's pretty much a check. That's why it's called 9 marks. Pretty much a checklist. But go ahead. So
yeah, I mean,
you weren't leading. You felt like the pressure. Yeah, from your wife at the time, your ex-wife.
My view of my wife was just she's my permanent girlfriend. Like that's how I viewed her. Like you my girl still, but now it's just more
hold up.
Official.
Let me just pause real quick for those of you jumping in. So Gil is giving us a real life situation that he went through to help us kind of like go through and understand how certain things might appear to be good and great, but they might be a setup for failure in the future, and you got to take and now even if you took those steps.
Now that you even say it that way, even deeper.
Go ahead.
Even my choice to marry her also falls under that because it also seemed to be perfect. I didn't even assess her as the woman. You know what I mean? I fall in that as well because if I really would have, let's say for an example, if I would have did a good biblical discipleship, that probably would have ended that right there, or at least prepared me for it.
You going deep into this subject, man.
I'm just saying, it's just the facts. As we're talking about it, I'm actually unfolding some more stuff now, even though this is years ago. I'm thinking about it even more so. Like, dang, you know what? If I would have took even extra steps even before marriage, I think things would have played out differently. Right. But anyway,
you know what? I love what you're saying because this is where I'm going with it. I'm thinking action.
Yeah.
And action, as we act upon things, those are governed by our thoughts in our heart, right?
Facts.
So whatever the heart desires, the mind is already committed to move forward with that. Mm-hmm. And then your body reacts to what was in your heart to begin with.
Yeah.
And as Christians, what we want is accountability. And so we have brothers that are either smarter, in the faith, that understand more than we do. And we seek out that mentorship. Mm-hmm. That discipleship is what I'm talking about. You seek after that discipleship, and then you seek after that accountability because you don't trust your own heart, and you read the word, and the word convicts you because your heart is wicked and deceitful above all things. So everything is with caution because of your heart desiring to do everything that's opposite from godly.
Facts.
And so a dead giveaway that you might be making a decision based off of just emotion and just impulsive decision is when you begin to run from accountability. Mm-hmm. When you don't want to bring this question up to somebody who might shut it down. And subconsciously that if I go up to this individual and I tell him exactly what I'm trying to do, he's going to shut it down.
Of course.
With the Bible.
Yeah.
And then I'm done for. So a dead giveaway is when you're trying to avoid that. There you go. There's the dead giveaway. That's a tip.
Facts.
Anyway, keep going, man.
So, obviously we got married, moved to California. I painted this whole narrative in my mind that this is going to be the best thing because, the weather's dope, you know what I mean? And I did, as far as my responsible part, I got the school lined up, she's has at that time she had a ridiculous resume. So I'm like, she's not going to have a problem finding a job. So I thought in my head I did everything responsible.
Yeah.
And had everything good. I even went as far as MacArthur's church is in Cali. How hard is it going to be to find a church?
And did you go?
I didn't check it out until you actually came to Cali. And that was my first time at MacArthur's church.
Still justifying it.
Hey, that's the fact.
Still justifying it.
That's the facts. That's what happened. I never went to MacArthur's church until you went out there. I was like, oh, shoot.
MacArthur's church is down the street.
But at the time, I was
he's on month 6.
This is
he's
on
Cali. Month 8. He's almost a year in. This dude's like, hold on.
Yeah.
MacArthur's church was right there. I could walk to it across the street.
Yo,
hold on.
That's MacArthur's church across the street.
Is that MacArthur's church?
The whole time I could have went to MacArthur's church.
Oh man,
I wish I would have known this.
It took me going out there across the street from the East Coast to the West Coast for you to realize that MacArthur's church was across the street.
Yes. Hey man, it is what it is. It is what it is.
Okay, so
I made horrible decisions.
Okay. Rewind, and now make the right decision. Show us how it should have been done.
So what should have happened is, first and foremost, I should have been the husband I should have been by making sure that she understood her role and I understood my role, which is how you do in discipleship. You get together with people who know this better than you do, and you study it. Right. So I never did that. We decided to get married. We got married. Boom. Done. No accountability in regards to discipleship. No accountability with the church. There was no really a church at that time. There wasn't really a church that we were held accountable, because that's when I just got saved and we were still figuring this thing out. And that's when we started going to a church, and then that started, finding things out that weren't lining up. So everything was still beginning phases. But still, I should have sought out more accountability in that regard and find a pastor and gone through the discipleship. That's step one.
In this case, talking about what we're talking about, Satan and his servants of righteousness is what the topic is.
Yes.
In this case, we're talking about just a situation that presented itself. In the case of the actual text, it's talking about, false apostles.
Yes.
False preachers.
Mm-hmm. And also he's saying how he's so worried that they're going to fall into it.
In this case, if these people weren't even committed to that church, like the disciples of Corinth, if they weren't even committed to that church, they would have made the decision you made without the church.
Yeah.
Because you completely didn't even go under somebody who was teaching you false things. You just completely went your own.
I bypassed all that.
You bypassed all of it, and you're like, yo, I'm out. You just made the decision on your own. So there wasn't even a preacher that was present. It was a location that was appealing, and it caused you to bypass in your mind spiritual accountability because it just looked nice. Yep. That's crazy. That actually is a different title. Like what you're presenting is like a whole different. Well, in a way, you kind of preached to yourself, right? In your subconscious, you were kind of like, well, it's beautiful. Well, it sort of like how Eve did in the garden, convinced. Like I know it was Satan who came in. The serpent came in.
Yeah, but ultimately she took the information.
She tried to
rationalize.
She tried to reason with it within herself. So if she was faithful in that moment, and I'm not saying, because if I was in that position, most likely I probably would have did the same. All of us probably would have did the same thing. But in that moment, she was what you were doing. Well,
justifying, making excuses.
This church is right across the street. A year later, still trying to justify it.
There's plenty of fruit all the way around. Why can't I just have this one? Jeez. The problem. But yeah, you know what I mean, like that coupled with a bunch of other things, but I'm just trying to summarize it so that way we get through this.
Go ahead.
But I didn't get all that lined up and make sure that we had that accountability between the two of us. The second thing was I didn't get a home for us, a spiritual home. No church was involved. I didn't have a smooth transition where my pastor is now talking to my new pastor saying, look, this is where he's at spiritually. This is where his wife's at spiritually. I'm sending him in your hands. There was no exchange. Went out there with no body, had to find a body to belong to. That was a process, and in that whole time we're just on our own, handling our home issues alone. Right. Whatever we thought was right, I did whatever I felt was right.
And you know what? Praise God, because we kept a tight relationship too. We did. So we were conversing back and forth the whole time. But
we did. I think my only olive branch of Christ at that time was you.
Praise God.
At least until I found a church. You know? And thankfully, God led me to a good church.
So what do you think is situations where, I don't know, it's somebody or an outside external influence, not a location or an opportunity? In your case, it actually was somebody, because your wife, was it your wife who said?
Yeah, my wife was the first initial invite. Like, yo, I want to go to Cali. And I'm like, well, why don't we go for our honeymoon? Let's check it out. So we went out there, did the whole zoo thing. We did all that. And then I fell in love. I was like, yo, Cali is sick. I can't even hate. Like, it is dope. I see the appeal.
Right.
So now I fell into her, whole, like, hopes and dreams of going out there. But I allowed the influence to take over, basically. Oh well, so I'm glad you just said that secretly. Right into the
excuse
microphone.
Me, guys. I'll be right back because Gil's gonna run it.
Guys, Gil, take over because I gotta use the bathroom. It's a secret. Don't tell them. So, why does he do this randomly? Guys, you guys gotta help me. Why does he have to do this so random all the time? So yeah. I should have been a little bit better in that regard, and I realized that God brought me to a dope church in California, and the body accepted me. They helped me grow, and then when the relationship ended and it completely shattered, the church embraced me and they were there for me. They were literally everything I needed. They were there, and that was just God's grace on me, all the way up until I had to move back here, and which is my story now, which is why I'm here now. God using even the most ugliest circumstance and turned it around for His good. And I learned a ton, and I'm happily married now with a beautiful wife and child. And
Leslie, shout out to Leslie. I don't know if she's still on here right now.
She probably got off.
But shout out to Leslie. Leslie, we love you.
She's mean to me sometimes.
So yeah. So in that case, it was your ex-wife at the time who was trying to sell the move.
Yep.
And you, instead of being faithful and aggressive with your decision, the motives and everything like that, you completely neglected the part of and I'm not bashing you, man. I hope people listening. I'm just trying to understand. I'm just trying to understand because I can share an example too of that same thing. You know what I mean? Like we all can share an example. Yeah. But I think it's good for people that are not aware of how this, you know, people that aren't reading maybe or not aware or, you know, whatever the case may be. There's all different types of people that are listening. It definitely made me
way clearer on everything that needs to happen for relationships.
Yeah.
Like I am now laser focused in regards to what to look out for, what not to look out for, you know, what is the danger signs, you know, what things you should stay away from, because I've been through it all, dude. I've been through it all, from the worst of the worst to the best of the best.
Matter of fact, it's funny that you bring this up because Dayton just came out with a single and a music video about that very thing.
Yep. And I sympathize with Dayton harshly.
So shout out to Dayton,
because I lived exactly that. Exactly that. That whole entire video is like, I sympathize.
Gary says it's amazing how later on we could see the good God does with those horrible situations. You know what? And you bring it back full circle to the gospel when you think about Christ, his only son, and what he did.
Amen.
According to his will.
Mm-hmm. What helped me understand it later, because I'm not gonna lie, as a human being, we get mad.
Yeah.
And when I got mad, I questioned God, because I at this point now, I am 100% understanding of God's sovereignty, you know, total depravity. Like I'm very well versed now, so I'm looking at this situation like, you knew this was gonna happen.
Right. You set yourself up.
All sovereign. You knew this was going to happen. And if divorce is something that you hate, which is clear in the Bible, why would you allow me to get married to this woman knowing that it was going to end? Like, why would you even allow that?
You know,
just to finish that, now I can sit back and see that God looks at things at a bird's eye view. He sees the beginning and he sees the end. We can only see what's in front of us. We don't see the full plan.
Right.
So and now I can see that he was preparing me for who I have today. My wife today is now reaping the benefits of the things that I had to learn. You know, if I didn't go through this, I probably would have lost.
Yo, that's deep.
And then I would have got a new wife, and I would have treated her the exact same way.
See, maybe we might need to like do away with like the titles every week.
And just talk?
I want to just talk, but the thing is, like, we're going live, so at least give us a direction of like what we're talking about. Because you know what?
Well, let's ask the people. Do you guys like topics, or do you guys want to just hear? Let's chat.
Hold up. But my thing is like, good point. Yeah, put it out there if you guys are listening. Jump in. Someone said Gary said preach. Now the thing is, if we didn't have this title, we probably would have jumped on this topic, though.
That's true too.
So maybe like more looser topics, like maybe everything finishes with maybe. So Satan and his righteous servants, maybe.
I actually like
that. Escaping the grasp of hell, maybe, but we know officially not biblically. Yo, what up? Somebody just jumped in. That's a long name. So, hold up. I can't read from all the way.
If it's too long, you're going to butcher it.
Demetrius.
Oh, okay.
Demetrius. What up?
What up, Demetrius?
So, we're talking about a few things. We're just talking about situations that may appear to be opportunities that arise that look good, but without, you know, seeking wise counsel, without considering things spiritually, without, you know, seeking accountability, without the wisdom of a multitude of
Naeem Henry, what's going on?
Of more knowledgeable and concerned brothers and sisters, we're more apt to do what our flesh wants us to do. You know, we're
and
more
in my
apt
case,
to
it was my choice in wife and marriage and
that's crazy. Fact. That's fact. So that was an example that guilt. Yo, I thank you for sharing that, by the way, because I know it's
real.
That's a deep subject for you to just put out there for most of the show. That, I mean,
I mean, it is exactly that. You know what I mean? We allow these influences to dictate our choices, you know, and
a lack of word, Gary says, that's important. Yeah, you're right.
Oh, a lack of word is definitely
because the Bible is going to lead you to make, you know, to take those cautionary steps, right?
Yeah, and then that brings to the very first point is understanding what the word requires of us,
right,
in our roles. What is our role and what is it that God expects? If I had a clear understanding what a husband is supposed to do in a marriage, I probably wouldn't have got married
from the jump,
because the responsibility that comes at that time, the age that I was and how I was living my life, and it was the very beginning phases of Christianity for me. I think if I had a clear understanding, like, yo, bro, if I had like someone like how I see you, like, yo, what do I should do in this situation? And you were like, yo, well, this is what the Bible says you should do in a marriage. I probably would have been like, you know what, man? I think I should probably revisit this whole marriage thing, man. Because I don't think I'm spiritually ready, physically ready, mentally ready to take on a whole nother life's responsibility upon myself.
Fact.
Because that's exactly what a husband is. You are taking the full responsibility of your life,
of your household.
Of your household.
You are responsible for the people that are under you.
Exactly. So at the time, since we don't have no children like, yet, it's just her.
And not under you, like in like, you know, this is you're the king of the castle.
No.
But under you, well, I'm saying like certain people might come in and not know what we're talking about.
Yeah.
But just in the role that you play, you know, I always tell my kids and my wife, I'm like, well, my wife knows, but I tell my kids, I'm like, you know, I'm the leader, but I have more responsibility on my head.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like for everything that happens within the household. It's my responsibility, you know? So if the household is in chaos, it's because of me. Yeah. I'm not leading right. Matter of fact, that actually is a great indicator for me, and probably for most of us. When I look at my how my kids behave, like publicly, it's a direct reflection of how I'm parenting and how I'm running my household.
That's a really good like checkmate to yourself.
It's a wake up for me. Yeah. It's like, and then the opposite. Like if you're faithfully leading your family, you'll have random people come up to you, like in a restaurant or in the store. And I've had it several times. They'll come up to you and they'll be like, "Wow, your kids are well behaved."
And you're the worst critic. You're like, "Dang, I'm embarrassed."
No, I'm always confused. Like, really? No. I'm like, hold on.
I don't see that.
For real? Wow. I'm shocked. I'm like, well, okay. And I walk away and tell my wife, you're like, yo, they just said our kids are well behaved. And she doesn't say that. Really?
You guys are messed up.
Yeah.
You guys are messed up. They're both looking at each other like, are you sure they were talking about our kids?
Hold up. These three right here?
These three.
Hold up. Stand up. Stand up on the chair. Can you guys stand up on the benches? Can you bring this light over here? It's like a Texas Roadhouse
on the shoulders.
where they turn the lamp.
This one?
Where they turn the lamp on you. We put him on the horse. Hold up, this one?
I'm on a horse. Freaking guy. That is awesome.
No. But where was I going for that? Yeah. Accountability.
Yeah, just the accountability, just making sure we are doing what we're supposed to do in regards to marriage. Well, at least that's what I was talking about.
This is the title now.
This is what I was talking about. I was talking about
Satan.
When you are presented opportunities,
and the servants of righteousness,
we have to look at it in the lens of Scripture.
Yeah.
And in my example was marriage.
Yeah.
That was for me.
Okay.
But this can present itself in many different ways.
There's some creatives out there who listen because we're
Rory,
hip hop artists. Rory. Oh, now we gotta stay another hour. Rory, jump in here.
Rory.
Oh no, we're staying another hour.
Rory Mac. All right.
Just for Rory. Rory.
That's my dude.
Rory. I used to hear Rory singing all the time.
Down the halls.
All the time, and he would do this extra high pitch too. Like you know, the area high pitch, the one that's like, I'm not gonna belt it, so that way you guys can't really tell that I can't really.
But I'm gonna let you know I can sing.
But I'm gonna let you know I can hit that note real quick.
Oh my goodness. That's happening.
Tell me that.
That just happened. This you guys just were able to hear a little bit of Mario's singing chops. Even though he was,
that was Rory.
Even though
Rory,
he was mimicking Rory, but that was actually kind of clean.
That's my dude. I love you, Rory. You know what's
awesome. But yeah, not only that, but Rory and Marrio used to have rap battles.
Oh no, don't even bring
every now and then.
Don't even bring that.
And they would rap with each other and go back and forth. Yeah. I still remember the first battle. Man. The very first battle at the lunch table.
Oh my
that
goodness.
Right there was ridiculous.
Really, you gonna go there?
I don't remember what was said. All I know is that Rory was like, I'll stop.
Yo, actually, Rory McManus. Rory, are you? Man, forgive me, brother. Are you officially pastor at the church yet? Is he a pastor?
No, he's a youth leader.
Youth leader. So Rory's a youth leader.
Oh, he could be a youth pastor actually.
I think he's a youth pastor. Rory, say what you are.
Yeah, Rory, I haven't say nothing.
What are you?
Rory.
He probably bounced out.
Oh, that's messed up if he did that.
Nah, he's still here. There he is. So Rory is actually a youth leader, and he has I see the pictures that he posts and stuff, and he has some crazy events. Like there's a full group of people there,
and the staging is actually really dope.
And the staging is dope.
I actually really want to go out there and perform because the stage looks sick.
We've been saying that.
We have been saying that.
Rory, when we gonna go out there, brother?
We need a formal invitation. We haven't been invited yet.
No, he has. He told us they'll come out.
For what event though?
Getting together.
All I know is
tag.
I'm gonna wash that stage.
Yo, these dudes. Anyway, that we did that before. I don't even want to bring it up again. I was gonna bring up the whole other stuff, but I'll leave that. So anyway, so as a creative, what do you think are examples?
As a creative,
yeah. Like, what do you think are examples as a Christian artist? Let's say you're a Christian artist, and those opportunities come, where it's almost like, same thing. Like when we're talking about, 2 Corinthians, when we're talking about with this title, we're talking about people who lead you astray. The servants of righteousness are people that appear, obviously they're not gonna show you their true colors, in other words. So the devil ain't gonna come through with his horns and his red tail and, hi, I'm the devil, sign this. Like that's not what he's doing. Like he's I don't know.
Although that would be hilarious.
That voice that comes out of me, but it
is always that voice. That's why I laugh.
For everything, it's hip hop, it's the fake.
Somehow everything other than you is geeky.
Hi,
it's like, hi guys, I'm the devil. Hi guys, I'm the guy on the street.
I'm the owner. No.
Hi guys, I'm the store owner. No matter what, it has that geeky voice.
All right, so they're not going to come through and tell you their true colors. They're going to come in a form of, in this case, servants of righteousness. Disguised. How do you disguise yourself as a servant of righteousness to begin with? Is it a clothing? What is it, like a demeanor? How do you disguise yourself as a servant of righteousness? I'm fair. In politics, you had that. You have people who look out for your greater good. Both parties are, rooting for their guy because they're convinced that person is going to look out for their greater good, right? Mm-hmm. So as far as this goes, how do you appear to be? Like, what does that look like, a servant of righteousness, if they're disguised? They're actually false. So their objective is to lead you away from the truth, yet they appear to be servants of righteousness. So what does that look like?
I mean, that could be like a false teacher. You know what I mean? Like someone. Yeah, okay. But what I'm saying is have your well-being, but they're
what is being compromised? Right? What is being compromised?
The truth.
Yeah. Well, how far? Because a servant of righteousness, you got to carry some truth. If you're appearing to be an angel of light, what makes you appear to be something good? Angel. He clothes himself in his attire, in the way he appears. If I come down with our perspective of an angel, if I come down with wings and a halo and I'm glowing white, that's I guess the Hollywood perspective of what an angel is or whatever. Yep. So in that, So what will we see? Because obviously we ain't gonna see the angel coming down with the halo in the wings. So what will we see? What does that look like? That could be somebody who comes through and let's say there's a natural, catastrophe happens in your city.
Yep.
And that could appear as people who come and help out.
That's a good example.
You know what I'm saying? And maybe they're not carrying the gospel truth with them. They're just maybe they're Mormons coming through, helping out. And you're like, yo, this group of people helped me out in my worst case scenario. Like they were here. And your impulse, your emotions are attached to somebody who's actually here lending a helping hand. Where were the Christians? Where were the Christians at? How come they weren't here helping me out?
That's a good example.
I don't know if Mormons say they're Christian. I don't know, but I'm just giving an example.
It's a form of Christianity.
All right, so whatever. Muslims come through. Whatever it is.
Whatever it is, yeah.
Yeah, anything opposite of what the gospel, the true gospel. Someone comes through and they just help you out. It appears to be, they care about me more than the other person, right?
Yeah.
Or they could be more slippery. They can say I'm Christian and they're not preaching the true gospel. They're misleading. So as a creative, that's a dead giveaway as a creative.
Yeah.
As a creative, I mean, for me, like you come through and you're telling me I got to sell out. Like you're telling me like, hey, why don't you, and I heard this before. Hey, why don't you just, you're really good at rapping. Why don't you just rap about whatever, which is not sinful. If I'm not rapping explicitly about Christ, it's not sinful. But they're telling me, to make a career out of just rapping about regular whatever. Mm-hmm. Just use your talent for whatever. Like just don't use it for about your faith. Like just use it for all these other things. Water it down till there's nothing at all. Right?
Yep.
And then, we'll make you blow up. We'll do all these other things to help you get where you need to go. So in that case,
that's a complete compromise. Completely.
I mean, if they're telling you to be like, yo, we need club bangers. I don't know nowadays with streaming, like
I don't even know if that's even a term anymore.
If that's even a thing anymore, like
club bangers. I feel old saying it.
Yeah, right. We need a club banger. Oh, we need this. Or we need, you know what I mean? Like, I remember, like we tasted a little bit of that at one time. Remember that?
Yeah.
Yo, at one time, I was cussing. But I knew a little bit about God. I wasn't a Christian at all. But I knew a little bit about God. And I would talk a little bit about God. But I was cussing and dropping all these...
In the same line.
In the same lines. Like I was totally like... And then I remember at that time, the owner of the label came up to me and said, yo, we can't have these gospel tracks.
Really?
Do you remember?
I don't remember he said that to you.
Yeah. He came up. He was like, yo, I'm a Christian too. Remember, it was like we were preaching and he came up to us and he was like, yo, I used to be an altar boy. Remember?
Oh,
do you not remember that?
Okay, the altar boy is
bro,
me.
he was
But
like,
I don't remember him saying that your songs were like gospel tracks.
That's why he brought that up.
Oh, okay.
He brought that up because he thought we were doing like Christian hip hop. And I was just talking about God, but I was like cussing in my rhymes. And he was like he was telling us like, yeah, try to stay away from that. We weren't even Christian. He's like, I'm sort of, well, he didn't say sort of.
I'm sort of.
He's like, yeah, I'm Christian too, based off of what he did in the past.
Yeah.
That I think he was an altar boy.
He did say altar boy.
He said altar boy, right?
That part.
So he was an altar boy. So he's like, I was Christian. I'm Christian too because of what he did in his past. But what I'm saying is like, even then when we weren't even Christians and we hinted at God, even then they were like, nah, don't.
Try not to do that.
What do they say? Politics and God.
Yep.
Stay away from those two things.
Religion and politics.
Religion and politics. What up, everybody jumping in? All right. So walk with me.
So basically, anything can be presented in itself in a way where it looks like it can be a great thing, and it is wrapped in the disguise of righteousness. But if you dig deeper, you can discover that it's not righteous at all.
Well, here's the thing. If they're trying to misguide you, right? They're trying to get you to stray from the truth. So it's a slippery thing. First of all, if they're not a believer, right from the jump, they don't have discernment.
No.
So right from the jump, you got to be the one with the discernment. If you're going to go into an agreement with somebody who doesn't share the same perspective you have, or doesn't share the same faith that you have, right from the jump, you got to go in with your walls up.
Yep.
Not because you're smarter than them. It's not that. It's you're coming in with a truth that they don't believe.
Yeah.
You're coming in with the ability to see and have practice discernment biblically that they don't have. You know what I'm saying? So we do that every day. I mean, we do that with our day jobs. You know what I mean? We do that with our 9 to 5s. We go into an interview. We sign contracts when we get jobs, right?
Yep.
They have their rules. They have their regulations, right? And you sign your contracts, and then then you're working for them, and you're signing that agreement. I'm gonna work for this amount. You know, they're telling you what not to do, what to do, whatever, right? But we're going into that understanding like we're gonna carry ourselves in this kind of way, right?
Yeah.
If it compromises my faith in any kind of way, if it's dishonest, if it's causing me to lie, if it's causing me to sin, to do anything that's the opposite of righteousness, then I will uphold my Christian values over your desire to falsify or whatever it is, any kind of sinful thing, right?
Yeah. So
even to government.
So that's a good question. You know, what do you do when you are put in that position? So you're at job.
So as a creative, let's say distribution company comes and says, "Yo, we love your stuff. We want to help you distribute this stuff and get your name out there. We want to sign this contract." If there's nothing in that contract that goes against explicitly your faith, and it all works out, and there's accountability, and you go seek wise counsel, and everything looks great for you to take off in that career, well, then go and you're free to do that. Unless it compromises your faith in any kind of way, you're free to do that, right?
Yeah, you do have the freedom to choose.
Now, if they start directing the content, and let's say the content is not explicitly Christ, it's not none of that. No, you know, we don't want to press that message. We like your positive stuff, but now they're directing the meat and the motive of that content, and it doesn't highlight the truths of God. Not that you have to do it explicitly, but let's say it's about love. Yo, bro, you can sing, and I got the connections that you need to blow up. I got the touring people, I got the investors, I got the recording label. You don't got to worry about nothing. Just come in, do what you do, sing, write your songs. I'll get the beats. I'll pay for beats. I'll pay for recording. You're set. You're good to go. I'm going to pay for marketing. I got the videographers lined up. I got the whole team. You're good to go. The only thing is I can't have you be singing about your Christ and your religion stuff. I want just positive stuff. You know, you can, I'm not telling you what you're going to write about, but don't explicitly be talking about Christ. What do you say?
I personally, for me, I would renegotiate that, and if it's non-negotiable, then I would be like, I'm sorry, unfortunately, I can't really do that, because basically you're telling me that I can't talk about myself, in at least how I take it, because my faith is me. Like, it's part of me. It is who I am.
So am I asking you to do something wrong?
It's not that you're telling me to do something wrong. It's something that I don't agree with.
What do you mean? I'm not. You can write your songs how you want to write. You can sing how you want to sing. Do your thing. I just don't want you to talk about Christ.
But that's all I'm saying. That's like me not talking about myself. Like, you can't write about yourself.
All right, how about this? We're gonna do a 2-album record label deal. 2 albums.
Yeah.
I want 2 projects from you. Within 4 months. 4 years. 4-year contract, 2 albums in those 4 years.
Okay, what's wrong with that?
Okay, so you're gonna sign?
But I can't talk about God?
No, I don't want you to talk explicitly about Christ or your faith. Okay. You could talk about anything good or whatever.
That's like, I'm gonna give you this dope car. It's free. You could drive it wherever you go, but you can't have tires.
No, bro.
That's exactly what that is.
Tell me straight up. What's wrong in that?
It's not that it's sinful. It's just me personally as a person.
So let's say you have another young man that you're talking to, and he's like, "Oh, you don't want that? I'm taking it."
Yeah.
Okay, so what do you say to that young man or woman?
If they're not Christian and they don't,
no, they're Christian.
They are Christian.
Yeah.
Hey, if you're okay with that, then
you just let them run off with it.
Yeah.
Is he okay to run off with that?
They're not being sinful. If they don't have any conviction about not talking about God at all, removing them from their music, then by all means, do what you do.
All right, Gil, check it out. I want 1 project from you. I want an album. Okay. Don't talk explicitly about Christ. I'm gonna pay for everything. Can you at least give me 1 project?
1 project?
Yeah. Can I have 1 project with you?
I guess I would do 1 project.
I got him, y'all.
1 project. That's nothing. You're not dictating my career. That's 1 song.
Gary says it's a start of a slippery slope. Yo, Gary, you know what? You're right. However, is it sinful though? So if I was to say, if the dude came up to me and said, "Yo, I'm gonna sign you." Right, I want to give you 1 project or whatever. Let's say the same deal. Let's say 4 years. You have 4 years, 2 albums. I don't even know if they have a deadline with years. I think they have a deadline with albums. It depends, I guess. I guess it depends.
Yeah, it depends because I don't know. Nowadays, from stuff that I've been hearing, is that
I was signed, but what I signed was what I signed was years. It was a 2-year contract that I signed, and then they try to hit me with a 4-year contract. Not Rapzilla, by the way. I mean, Rapzilla, Wrath and Grace. It was before I was a Christian, secular independent record label that I signed to, 2 years, and then they try to hit me with a 4-year. And of course they have loopholes, and they do it. Everybody does their thing to try to get the leverage, right?
Yep. I mean, that's business.
Yeah, that's business. So get yourself a lawyer and make sure you fine comb that and counter that, and also have accountability. But however, going back to this subject,
you said I wouldn't say it's sinful, but it's unwise.
It's unwise. You know what? It's unwise if you're not seriously taking the steps that you need to take to make sure that you're not setting yourself up for failure. So if you have a team that really cares about your spirit, and cares about your walk, and you're walking super cautiously, and it's not like directly controlling what you're doing as an artist, like it just depends on the contract that you're signing. Like, how much control do they really have? For example, for those of you that don't know, I have a thing called Spiritually Dead. Mm-hmm. It's a full. I wanted to do a trilogy. Here, I'm being transparent now. Now you guys are getting to the meat.
Come with it.
An hour in. Ready? You guys ready for this? Here's the facts. Ready? So for those that don't know, go check out Spiritually Dead. I have Spiritually Dead Part 1, Part 2, and I wanted to complete a full trilogy. I wanted that thing to be 3 music videos. My biggest desire was for the Spiritually Dead concept to be picking up by, and we had a connect, and we still have a connect, but I'm not sure where that's going, so pray for me. But we have a connect that has a connection, so a connection through a connection directly to Netflix. So there's one connect away to a guy that decides what goes on Netflix. One connect away, right? Mm-hmm. And so the idea was, it'll be cool if we can continue doing these music videos, right? And then sell the concept to Netflix, and then hopefully my desire, my prayer was that I could, you know, be the star cast and the co-writer of the Spiritually Dead series on Netflix. That is like, that's what I'm praying for. However, certain things fell through. Certain things happen in the back end because, you know, these things can become, you know, complicated. And things, you know, things fell through, but things are still there. Things are kind of hanging. Things are like, you know, you never know. You never know how it's going to happen. What was my point of that? So here's the point. So I was introduced to certain people that had those connections, and then I was told certain things, not like completely hide or tuck your faith, nothing like that. It was, but it was hinting at those things. It was like, you know, can we make it this way, and suggestion. It really was like suggestions on the motive and the direction that we were trying to go in. But it was very careful, but it was at the same time it was still present. Those suggestions were still being made. Yeah. Right? There was talk about, they weren't saying watering down, because we're the only ones that know that, but they were saying, would you consider this? It was suggestions, you know, would you consider doing this? Would you consider removing that part and adding this part? What do you think about this over here? And what they were trying to do were, they wanted to see where my boundaries were. Yeah. Now, if I would have let up and I would have been like, whatever, wherever you want to go, then there's issues for sure. Right? Because now I am allowing my boundaries to be determined by someone else. Yeah. Who doesn't share the same faith that I do. So I had to be very direct and not assertive in a disrespectful way, but just informative on, you know, where those boundaries are and how I'm not going to be crossing those boundaries. However, I was willing to negotiate on other things. Talk was, you know, what if we have co-writers? I don't know who these writers are, but they understand, like the professional writers understand how to write a story with the hero, the villain, when the plot thickens and how it all develops. And these people go out of it. First of all, for those that don't know how this stuff works, when you're watching like a whatever show you like, any show that you like on Netflix or whatever you watch, there's a team of writers. There's not just one person writing that story. There is like a team of 5-6 writers, and they're not just writing. They put up like little clip art of what do you call it, like storyboarding all over. Like this whole room will be storyboards of how this story unfolds, and there'll be writings with pictures and characters and dialogue all over these walls, posted up all over these walls. That's how it works. A team of writers, and here I am. You know what I mean?
Gary asked a question here. Do you think this is how a certain well-known former CHH artist started down the path he's gone? Wow. Not sure who you're talking to. I think I know who you're talking about. But
yeah, we gotta assume that. Check this out, Gary. I don't know if you know, but I'm one of those artists that said I'm walking away from the CHH title and stirred some things up, and everybody was talking about that kind of stuff. But then, you know what it is? It's just we're in a awkward state right now. Christian hip hop. We're in an awkward state right now where there's a lot of creatives that are feeling like they're treated unfairly. There's not a lot of coverage on what we're doing. Like there's not a lot of this dialogue. I'm hoping that picks up, but there's not a lot of it that's out there, and so there's a lot of misunderstanding, and people are left to assume, which is not wise to do. But it's like sometimes you're just feeling like, well, you want to be heard and you don't have the right outlets to be heard, and you want an avenue to have like a step in the game. Maybe you're a creative who really has a passion and desire to do it. For me, I'm grown. I already went through that. So I'm at peace where I'm at as far as the lack of support. For lack of, I don't know how to express it. I don't want to say that
I'm good that nobody follows me.
No. That's not that. I don't want to say that. I don't want to say that. There are people that follow. There are people that that love what we do.
I'm so grateful that no one cares about
No.
stuff.
It's not that. You know what? I don't want to disrespect the people that do follow me. I don't want to disrespect the people that do. There's a lot of people that are hitting me up privately, telling me, "Yo, your content is dope." We have a police officer. Shout out to Alejandro. We have a police officer who is on duty and sits in his cruiser at night working the overnight shift, and to kill some time as he's waiting for calls to come in, he's listening to the podcast. He's listening to this right now. We have other people that
which is really dope.
Yeah, that's dope. We have over 60 subscribers. This is show episode 10 without all organic. We haven't paid for any advertisement at all.
None.
I haven't dropped a single penny, not a single penny to advertisement whatsoever. And on our podcast, we have over 60 subscribers, show 10, and we're still trying to figure out. We still have things that we're trying to, implement in the show and make it better and whatnot. So with that said, I'm not saying, lack of support in any disrespect to the people who do show support. Do show support. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying by lack of support is, not even lack. I don't want to say lack of support. It's just, it is what it is. Like we don't have the guys that have the influence in the genre. Like they ain't sharing our stuff. The influencers of our genre ain't out there like, oh my goodness, did you hear what Marrio said today? Unless I'm stirring some things up. If I hit a hornet's nest, then they all come out and want to. Then they want to chat. If I go and I hit, if I throw rocks at a hornet's nest, then everybody wants to come out and talk.
It's like you poke the bear and then the bear's coming after you and everybody whips out their cell phone.
Gary Lecrae, he clarified it. So there are people like Dayton. Gary, I don't know if you're familiar with Dayton. There are people like Dayton who would say they support Lecrae's movement 110%. Now, if you know Dayton, he's part of God Over Money with what's the dude's name?
7.
No, the
Thi'sl.
other guy. Bizzle. With Bizzle, 7. Who else is with them? Bumps. What's his name? Something Bumps. And all them cats. So anyway. God Over Money, I mean, they're out there, and from what I hear, from what I see, I seen Dayton perform one time, but I see on social media and stuff, like they're out there, baptizing people and stuff. So, I mean, they're out there, they're preaching, they're proclaiming from what I see, from what I hear from people, and Dayton would say, yo, I support Lecrae's movement 110%. Me personally, I don't know much about Lecrae. I don't know him personally. I don't know what he's about. I know certain moves that he made within Christian hip hop that not even Christian, just hip hop, the genre that I probably wouldn't have made at this moment. But there was a time, bro, to be completely transparent. There was a time that I was completely against Lecrae. I was one of them cats that were like, yo, he's selling out. Yo, he's da-da-da-da. And then as I matured over time and as I got, exposed to Christian hip hop behind the scenes and I'm just gonna say people always want to scare you into a corner, like you're assuming, you're gossiping, you're salty, they always want to assume. It is what it is. It's facts. We all know it. So there's egos.
Mm-hmm. There's superstars.
There's superstars. Like, come on, man. Like, if I say this, like anybody who hears this can be like, write a whole thing. Oh, oh my goodness, you're assuming the motives of men. Like, we all know. This is definitely a clip I'm going to use on Instagram. We all know there's egos. There's pride. We all know that.
It's facts.
Like, it is what it is. Like,
it's just sad to see within people who supposed to support each other, Like, everybody in secular realm is understandable because everybody wants to be the best and wants to be the top dog.
Yeah.
But here, the top dog is Christ. So why are you portraying this persona of the top dog?
Right.
It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, okay. There's a healthy sense of competition between the rappers or artists. There's a healthy competition. You got to have that. I mean, that's like that with anything. I mean, you need to have. Imagine we lived a life with no controversy at all, or nothing pushing back at us.
That's true.
Imagine if we couldn't practice discernment. You know what? God is gracious enough to give us the ability to practice discernment. And the only way to practice discernment is if you could see the false and the truth.
Never looked at it like that.
How are you practicing discernment if you don't got the false there? You can't do it. Discernment is there for you to see the difference, to see the different. How's the word I'm going for? To extinguish? No,
distinguish.
Distinguish. Thank you. Yeah. Sorry, I'm illiterate. You'll learn that. To distinguish between righteous and sinful.
That's true. Because I mean, if we always had just everything,
here's a question.
Discernment wouldn't be a word.
Right. Here's a question. How would you describe the attribute of God's holiness without
darkness
and sin and rebellion?
Very good point.
How would you describe God's attribute of righteousness without people who are wretched? You can't.
There has to be a contrast.
There needs to be a contrast. There is day and night. There's dark and light. And sometimes it takes conflict to wake up.
So now Gary is saying, is there labels you would recommend being discerning about? I listen to a lot of CHH while I work and would prefer not to support people that are destructive to it.
Gary, here's the thing, my brother. It's not so much so the creatives, their dead giveaway is their lifestyle, and their lyrics, their content. You know, you can obviously you have the discernment to say, you know, this guy's blessing me with his content, this guy isn't, you know, you have that. It's more so what's happening behind the scenes that's disruptive. You know, and what's happening behind the scenes, like not gossiping, it's a fact. Like I cannot stand when dudes act like it's all good. Like we live in a fallen world. We're wretched and sinful. We're corrupt in our own hearts. Like anybody who has the ability to stand firm and just argue their points or whatever has to know that there's a sense in all of us, if we're truly Christian, there's a sense in all of us that we need to be cautious. Even myself.
Yeah.
When you stand for what you think is right, when I stand for what I think is right, and we're both standing and butting heads like rams trying to go at it, there needs to be a part in our hearts that we're like, you know what, at the end of the day, like I'm going to stand before God just like he's going to stand before God or she's going to stand before God, and I'm going to have my head to the ground, and if I can bury it underneath, I would. Both of us. Like little kids looking at each other like daddy came home. Who's arguing in here? And we're both like, oh, well, he did this. And we all want to blame each other. The fact is, we need to have these conflicts because these conversations. That's what we're trying to do with the show. We're trying to have these conversations.
Conversations that people don't want to talk about.
Yeah. You know and sometimes I gotta admit, sometimes I throw stuff out there just to
rattle the cages,
just to see what happens. Sometimes I throw stuff out there just be like, all right, let's see what happens here.
Yeah, I call Mario the.
No, don't, keep that.
Oh, okay.
Keep that. Is there labels that would recommend discern? Is this the same question he had?
Yeah. And then he said, "Don't mean to throw you under the bus," and I said, "Throw him."
No. It really is behind the scenes. There's a lot of prayer that's needed. That's part of the reason why I'm doing this show, because I do see things that I don't like, and I'm hoping to address certain things over time. Not right now. Like I'm just trying to dialogue about things that people normally don't dialogue about. You know, like I want every week for us, me and Gil, and actually we want to, you know, we have some plans to possibly have a new location for the show. So I'm excited about that and try to expand this thing.
Keep us in prayer on that.
Yeah, keep us in prayer. You might see a whole new set, an actual set. Like this is in my home studio, but we have an opportunity to actually build a whole set from scratch. So keep us in prayer for that. But the whole purpose behind what we're trying to do is to dialogue about these situations, man, and to really just let's have these conversations. Let's have these conversations. They need to, in CHH, in Christian hip hop, you know, in a church, when you go to a church, we have a list of names. And it's just a head count. It's just so that way, because we have over 300 members and the pastors really can't keep account for every single member. So we have a list that we check off on so the pastors know, okay, has this family been here? Has this family been here? What's going on with this family? Is somebody hurt? Is somebody sick? What's going on? Is there a spiritual conflict happening? Because they can't have that accountability for every single person in the church. So they're trying to have the checks and balances so they make sure that everybody's good. Mm-hmm. There's legit accountability. There's been times where I've been in the back. So we have like an overflow room in the back of the church. And there's been times the overflow room is when you have, you know, your kids that are sort of acting up, like you go back there, you know, so you don't disrupt the service. And there's been times where I chill in the overflow room and I'm helping back there or whatever. And the pastor would email me and be like, hey, I haven't seen you in the last few weeks. Are you okay? Is everything all right? I appreciate that.
That's
like,
true.
I'm like,
that's dope.
I'm like, oh, yeah. I've been in the overflow room. You know, I got the little ones, whatever, you know. But that's accountability is serious. Yeah. In CHH, we have so many people bubbling up everywhere. There really is no sense of everyone unfolding under this umbrella of accountability. How do you hold all these different people accountable to each other as believers? And what happens is, if you don't see me, right? Let's say you're over there. You're this camp. I'm this camp. That's that camp. Let's say there's 5 camps. If we're all a part of what we call CHH, and there's no sense of this umbrella of accountability, well then what applies to you don't apply to me. Like, I'm free to go over here and do what I do over here.
Makes sense.
You do what you do over there. You do what you do over there. Everybody does what they do everywhere. And there's no sense of accountability anywhere.
So how would you propose
this? Stuff like this. People dialoguing more. People opening up. You know what Christians have us Christians have a tendency of doing?
What?
And it's good and bad. We want to just keep the peace. Almost to a dangerous.
Yeah.
Almost to a dangerous.
Like it's almost like they feel that arguing about it can become sinful or something like that, because they avoid the argument or at all costs, or depending on the topic too.
Right. Yeah. So the conflict is like, a lot of people want to avoid conflict.
Yeah.
So a lot of people don't speak up,
especially with religious things. Like, well, not. Well,
that's what I'm talking about. Like, it's just
too loose, but Christian things.
For example, like this show that we're doing. Lord willing, you know, over time it'll pick up. We can go back and like, now we're just talking. Like, now we're just talking. It's dope. But I'd rather just talk. So over time, you know, Lord willing, it'll pick up, right? And it's good. It's good. It's doing good. But we got to pick up. You know, we stay consistent with it, whatever. But what I'm saying is, if we don't try to engage, if we don't try to just speak the truth, if we see something that ain't that we might think is wrong and not speak up on it because we're afraid of conflict, how are we ever gonna grow? Honest to God, Chad, am I gonna sit with you and talk with you? Like, are you gonna call me up, Chad? Are we gonna sit and have coffee?
No.
Honest to God, we're not ever. Lord willing, maybe someday, but we're not. So how can I be heard? How can the artist be heard in this genre? How can we be heard? I'm not saying that you got to stir things up to be heard. That's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is, honest to God, like, how do we hold each other accountable? How do we all come together? Yeah. I see the world do it, like, in their worldly way, but they're all aware of what everybody, even the underdogs, like, they're all aware of what everybody. Joyner Lucas.
Yeah, he gets mentioned on big
Joyner Lucas is a great example.
And he's not really a household name yet.
Well, I mean, now he probably is. Israel, what's up, man? What's up, brother? So Joyner Lucas. So now he's moving up to that position, but I mean, like they recognize, but
they've been. My point was that they've been recognizing him even before,
bro. It's so
even before he was signed.
It's so open.
Everything.
It's so open that we know what's going on. Like all of us, like most of us, anyone who's following hip hop knows what's going on.
But we don't know what's happening in CHH.
But in CHH, it's like this thing where you just move, everyone just moves. There's people over here like, okay, there's this organization that likes these 10 rappers and they push these 10 rappers over here. And now there's all these rappers over here and nobody is acknowledging nothing, no sense of organization within the culture at all.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, that's fact. And if you gotta argue that, then let's argue that.
So Gary is saying, like, are you referring to the chopping block like Lamb Mode does, but man, at a larger scale? The chopping
block was dope. Yo, Gary, thanks for bringing that up, man. I have a brother who is a big fan of Lamp Mode. Shout out to Brent, Grace and Glory. That's the shirt I'm wearing right now. Shout out to Brent, I love you. He's a big fan of the chopping block.
Yeah.
And Brent said, yo, man, Lamp Mode had it. They had the show. You know, they could have engaged the culture and like led the culture. And I felt kind of, I was like, hold up, Brent.
You feel some type of way,
Brent, don't you know, like, I got a show. I'm rocking your Grace and Glory on my show, bro. Like, what was it? I don't understand, bro.
The funny thing is, I wonder how it would have been if it was backwards. And he's just like,
yo, I wish somebody came out with a shirt
that was Christian.
if somebody came out with a shirt that was Christian
and it was soft and comfortable,
oh man,
it would be awesome.
That would be the best.
He's like, yo, I've been having Grace and Glory for a long time now.
Yo, Gary, yeah, like the chop and block, like stuff like that. Like I don't see
that would be really
I don't see a lot. I don't see a lot of that. I don't see a lot of people that are willing to put themselves out there. I see a lot of people saving face. What I mean by saving face is a lot of people that are not willing to step out of their comfort zone for the sake of protecting their image. That's what I mean by saving face. They want to save face. Like they're not, for me, I don't care. So I come out. So I'm like, yo, I'm tech savvy. I know how to work the camera. I know how to work all this stuff. If you could see, if I could take the camera and show you my whole studio, like I set this all up, you know, this is what I do. My field of study is IT. That's what I do. So like this microphones and everything. I went to school for audio production. So I know this stuff and I don't care. Like I really do not care. So like when Rapzilla came out and the whole crew came out and attacked my post, and they thought, I don't know, I know they were trying to defend themselves, but I don't know if they thought they were shutting me down or what. Like I'm completely like completely bulletproof to that kind of stuff. Completely. Like it doesn't faze me whatsoever. So I like the dialogue. So if I can spark up some dialogue and I can get people to talk and I can get these artists to speak up on their behalf and get people to just engage in communication, well then I'm doing a good job.
Facts.
If I come out and I take the hit, let me take the hit.
But that's the whole purpose. I'm okay
with that.
The whole purpose is for us to open this. And I love that.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. It's not a win or lose. Like, they don't understand. Like, if I was in a situation, like somebody chimed in to the conversation that we were having. They were like, yo, Rapzilla had the illest, what do you say? Rapzilla had the illest line on his thread. Because Rapzilla tried to, I don't know, they're trying to be sarcastic. And, you know, they were trying to win. You know, they're coming in, they're trying to win. Like squash the bullcrap. They're coming in trying to win.
Yeah.
Oh, somebody just tarnished their name or whatever. So they're feeling defensive. They jump in. They're trying to protect themselves. And the reality, they want to win. You know, they felt a certain type of way. And then someone came in and said, oh, Rapzilla, shut this thread down. And then I chimed in, nah, I think it would have been better if they did this. And I put a laughy face. It doesn't, like, at the end of the day, what are we doing? What are we doing? We're going to go to war?
Yeah.
Like, what are we going to do? We're going to be Christians that go to war with each other?
Nah. I mean, the whole purpose of this is for us to talk about what everybody seemed to be feeling. Because you weren't the only one who was expressing this. There was more than a handful of artists that were expressing their frustrations as well, not specifically with Rapzilla, but just in general with CHH and the things that they're seeing that they don't like.
Right. So and that's my point. Like,
this is a perfect example.
Dialogue. Open up convo.
If we all were able to put everything on the table, I believe, and I'm sure you can agree, CHH would advance so much more than it is right now if everybody just voiced how they felt.
You real talk.
If they just be like, look, I don't like this. Let's work on that.
What we say, the truth shall set you free, right?
Facts.
So if you feel a certain type of way, you feel like, I'm not saying to just get in your feelings. That's not what I'm saying. But if you have a concern, like if you have every right to speak up your concerns. Mm-hmm. And then Rapzilla was able to jump in and correct what I was saying. So I thought their business structure was this way. Apparently they made changes. They went this way. I still disagree with it, but that's another subject. And it is what it is. Like I can have that disagreement. Yeah. Can I have a disagreement? Do I have the right as a human being to have a disagreement?
I believe.
Or am I going to get ganged on? Am I going to get cluttered with people who are going to assume I'm tarnishing a name? All right, fine. You corrected yourself. Fine.
Pick up your rocks and throw up at the Pharisee.
Like we could speak. Like let's speak. Let's talk. Let everybody communicate their opinions. Let everybody talk. Let's talk. That's the only way we're going to have that accountability and that unity.
Israel Music is asking, what is the solution? The solution is more dialogue.
Yo, Israel.
Us as artists, we need to dialogue about these things more.
Israel, check it out. It's more people that are not afraid to speak up and say some things. That's what it is. You got an issue. Like, why do I always got to hear that an artist said, oh, this one, I don't want to talk about it, but I got, this one did me dirty or what. Like, there's a whole, like, we all know. I can't stand the faking. It's fake. I can't stand it.
I wouldn't say fake. It's saving face.
It's like afraid to speak up. Like, how, Israel, how many people you know personally, or even yourself, have a story about somebody within CHH that did you wrong? We all got a story.
Or not even did you wrong. Rubbed you the wrong way.
Or whatever the case.
Or did something that you disagreed with.
Stuff. You know what I mean? Like they're unfaithful with their stuff. How many people that we know within the industry?
And just to clarify, it's not saying that because someone did you wrong.
Industry, by the way. Take that back. Go ahead.
Yeah. It's not saying that you should gossip now about it. That's not what we're saying. Dialogue and gossip are two different things.
I'm saying dialogue.
If we talk about our frustrations, just like, secular realms, the reason why they have advanced the way they've advanced.
Time out. Gary. Listen to Gary. Gary. Yo, stay with us. I might just stay a little bit longer just because of you. So we need a new entity that covers CHH and stays neutral in regards to labels and exposes people to new artists. Gary, you got some experience in the industry or what?
Gary, you want to be our manager?
No, Gary, no. He's reading. He understands what we're trying to say. So your mind right now is in tune with what
Gary, what we're trying to say. Thank you so much.
You're hearing what this is my ultimate goal, Gary. Yeah. My ultimate goal with this
is to be that entity.
And not even to be, but to inspire others to be that. Speak up. Don't be afraid. It's a small niche. So when the top dogs, we all know Rapzilla is the top dogs. Like we all know that. And CHH, when it comes to Christian hip hop, Rapzilla, they proudly say on their radio station, we are the #1 syndicated CHH platform. They say it, you know what I mean? Like we have over 100, whatever it is now, followers. Like they're the top dogs. So when you want to speak your mind and you got people who come in and then bash you or not even bash you, but they're defending. I take that back. Sorry. They're defending. I respect the defense. I would expect anybody to defend their organization, who they rep. So all respect with that. And like I said, Justin, man, I know that you were really concerned. Justin's the editor of Rapzilla. I love you, brother. But when you feel that pressure, let's say I was immature. Let's say I was, and people would say I am immature. So whatever. Pray for me. If you're a Christian, you pray for me, right? What are you going to do? Like, you'll be like, I can't wait till he loses.
I'm going to pray for you.
I cannot. What are you going to pray for my downfall? Like, if you're a Christian, you praying for me, right?
Yeah.
What are you doing? Anyway, pray for me. My thing is this. My thing is like, am I wrong? My thing is this. Hold on. Israel's talking. Gary's jumping in. Hold up. For me, if
we gotta read Israel's first. He said, "Of course, I have labels who owe me tens of thousands of dollars."
Oh my goodness, Gary!
There's always problems within the body.
You know what's good, Gary?
For me, there is a problem with a org or organization. I'm assuming you're saying that. Then maybe we need other people to create their own organization. Facts. And then Gary saying, "Not sure if you know it of it. Timothy Brindle was just on podcast called Cross Politic, reaching a lot of new people." I'm not sure what that means. Cross Politic?
There's a lot of good stuff here. Hold up. Israel and Gary, stick with me because this is good, man. I'm willing to chop it up for a little bit. Gil?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is good. Gary and Israel, you guys, even if it's just y'all, whatever, man, if we can, we could just dialogue and inspire each other, man, that's what's up. So Gary, you already know what's good, and it seems like you're following what's going on. Israel, you're saying that it seems like maybe we need to create another maybe organization. We need other people to create their own org. Yeah, Israel, real talk. Sometimes the solution is not to correct
the establishment
platform to create
the established.
Here's the thing, Israel. If we're not holding anybody accountable, where would the necessity be to start one? We need to understand that there's a problem. In order to have a solution, you need to understand first there's a problem. And if people are not aware of a problem, they're not going to look for a solution. You know what I'm saying? And so for me, it's like, I'm not saying I'm the top dog. I'm throwing rocks at a castle in the sky. I'm this little guy, man. Like I don't have a team behind me. It's me and Gil.
Facts.
It's me and Gil.
Just trying to bring awareness, trying to build and try to bring the community together the way it should have been from the beginning.
Yeah, and over time, like we're Christians, right? A lot of organizations are two different ways, right? You have the Rapzillas, and that's a media site. That's not a label. You have who else is out there?
The Rep the King
Mag, Track Stars, Z180, and all these cats right over here. And then over here you have like labels. So you have those labels that are in different camps too. So like the Reform side, you think of Christ-centric. You think of Lamp Mode, you think of Wrath and Grace. Shout out to them brothers. I love them brothers, all of them. And then on the other side, you have like more ministry, like outreach type organizations like God Over Money. You know what I'm saying? Humble Beast. And these organizations are, oh my goodness, Infantry. Shout out to Infantry and these brothers. So you have that. Forgive me if I'm missing anybody, but you have all these different entities, right, that are playing different roles, all make up the body, right? But what I see and what I think a lot of other people see is a lack of unity within these bodies. I mean, some of them recognize each other. I'm not saying they don't recognize and they don't salute each other and they don't share each other's albums or any of that. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is bridging the gaps all in between.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. What I'm saying is like really speaking on matters all in between this and having that sense of real unity amongst all of us, where we have the comfort to be able to say and speak confidently without any kind of fear or intimidation to say, I think this is unfair. I don't like this. Now I already know. So my thing was that I was misrepresenting an organization. That was my thing. So it was like, you're tarnishing our name kind of thing. They came in and they defended themselves. I get it. But it sparked up dialogue. I'm not saying it was the right step. It brought
clarification.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's the right step, but it sparked up, at least I'm going to say what I say.
Yeah.
You say what you say. Everyone should say what they say, and we all should dialogue. Like, bro, Israel, where you from, bro? Matter of fact.
You know what? I want to give a good example. A perfect example is when you ask a brother in Christ, how are you? Just to bring it as simple as possible.
Say again?
I said just to be as simple as possible. Like, in bringing it to the most lowest form of communication. When a brother asks another brother, how you doing? And they always respond with, I'm good.
Here's what Gary says. So let's identify these gaps and scream it from the rooftops. Gary, thank you. That's what I've been doing.
Yep.
Almost feeling like I'm alone. And every time that I do that, every time that I try to even hint at it, I get bombarded, man. Those are the ones that take off. Those are the posts that take off. Every time I try to stir some things up, and I'm just trying to spark dialogue, really. Every time I do that, I get slammed.
And we witnessed that ourselves in our own personal life too. Like,
but I ain't. The thing is that I'm not afraid for them to, come at me. I'm not. It is what it is. So we just need more people. We're trying to build awareness to that so more people can stand up and start. And I'm not saying gossip. I'm not saying cause any kind of division or any kind of problems. I'm just saying speak, like platforms like this, to speak up where people can dialogue and just have conversations about real stuff. And people don't have the opportunity to hide behind things. Why do I keep hearing all these different stories about behind the scene shady stuff that happens within CHH? That right now, people who are listening are probably saying, yep, I got a story. I got 3. I got 4. Everybody got a story. Nobody's speaking up. Why do everybody got a story?
Well, because the perception is that as a Christian, everything's always good. God is good. God is great. So everything is always good. You know what I mean? And that's what I was saying. Even our own personal life, nobody is 100% good. So when you ask someone, how you doing? And their response is, I'm good.
Yeah, because you know what?
There is no good, really. You're always going through something.
I guess what it is a sense of urgency. Like, I think that a lot of people within CHH, you either are artists or you're a fan. Right. And if you're a fan, you're not seeing directly what's happening behind the scenes because you're not exposed to those things. And if you're an artist, you're trying to be at good grounds with everybody so you don't burn a bridge, because you never know who it is that might take you to the next level. Like for me, I don't know, I feel like Rapzilla, I burned the bridge, but I'm okay. I'm good. If Rapzilla are Christians, you good?
Yeah. My pastor's calling me.
Oh.
Hey, Betsy, I know you're watching this. Tell your husband I'm on live show right now.
I'm on live. In the body, we will disagree. And you're right. And you have the right to disagree as long as it's not something that's compromising the gospel and you're legit about your concerns or whatever, then yeah. And even if you mess up, like even if you make a mistake and you make an assumption, even if you say something and you're like that, I shouldn't have said that, whatever. Like, aren't we supposed to come alongside each other? Aren't we supposed to encourage each other as Christians?
But the thing is that how do you know you're supposed to encourage someone if you don't even know what's going on? There's no dialogue.
Exactly. So it takes somebody to throw a rock at the hornet's nest and to disrupt everything, and everybody goes crazy, losing their mind.
Was that a Batman reference?
Everybody goes nuts.
That was a little hidden gem if you guys didn't know that. But anyway.
Yeah.
But it's true though. If you and I never dialogue about anything, for one, I can't come alongside you. 2, I can't pray for you.
Yo, for real.
3, we can't find a solution.
For real.
So these things will just continue to fester.
And then guess what? If there is somebody who thinks that they can get away with it, and if they're not who they truly say they are or who they appear to be, then they can continue to do some shady stuff in the darkness. And I'm not saying, I'm not trying to imply that Rapzilla is that person. I'm just trying to say that where's the accountability? Because aren't we supposed to shed light? Now, I know they would say, like, go out there and proclaim the truth. Yeah, if we're going out there and proclaiming the truth, that's awesome. Praise God. You go out there, you proclaim the truth. You're going to perform. You're sharing the gospel. People are getting baptized. You're being faithful with your calling. Praise God. You're going on tour. You're going here. You're going there. You're going all these. But you are also a part of a community, a larger community that's not just you and just the other rappers and the media sites that cover you. It's not just you. Sorry.
That got awkward quickly.
Sorry. I'm just thinking about it.
But
I'm just thinking about it.
It's facts.
It's me too.
It's facts.
Matter of fact, it's me too. It's Gil. It's other artists. There's other people that are true believers that believe in the gospel of Christ that are in here, that are out there too, sharing their faith with the communities as well. You know what I mean?
That's a fact.
And there's some people that are really talented, man. Really talented individuals who are faithfully serving, and that they don't get the coverage that everybody else gets because you're not chosen. Sorry. You're not chosen. So what are we supposed to do? So what I'm here to do is I'm trying to tell y'all, I study this stuff. I put Gil on to put some podcasts and stuff. We know creatives that are making six figures and they're not known at all. Like, you wouldn't know them. I would tell you them and you would be like, no way that exists. And it's a proven fact that they're making six figures as a creative who has studied and researched and developed techniques and strategies behind the scenes to become successful financially at what they do and provide for their families and be faithful with what they're doing. So for us, you know, thinking about Christian hip hop, you know, Christian hip hop artists or Christian artists or creatives, whatever, like there's ways for you to become successful at that point where you can, you know, set yourself up where you can have more time because of finances for you to continue to doing what you love to do and perfect your craft and cultivate your audience and do these things. But we're under this illusion that there's only one way. We're under this illusion that if we're not covered, if we're not intermingling with all these other cats that are up on this level, we're never going to be successful. Like, that's the concept. I don't care about that. Like, some people will say, like, I'm salty. Yo, Marrio, you salty because we don't cover you or whatever. I don't care about that. Like, I got a full-time job. You know what I mean? Like, I got a family of 5. I pay my bills. By the grace of God, I pay my bills. I'm not like well off, but I pay my bills and we're good. Like, I'm good. I'm not banking on this podcast. Like, this ain't making me money.
No.
This is not making me money.
Well, this is the most important thing. Isaac's saying he don't think you're salty.
I'm not. Yeah.
The most important thing is that those who truly rock with us and know what we're about.
I'm not salty in any knows what's way, up, my brother. Like, I'm not.
Ain't nobody salty over here.
I'm thinking about bridging the gaps. I'm thinking about, like, yo, why do we got this one thing here, right? That tells us what everything underneath is going to be. That's a pyramid scheme. You know what I mean? And for those of you that know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. Like, why we got this one thing up here that's dictating everything that happens with us? Yo, let's kill them walls, bro. Let's break down them walls. And let's unify and let's open up dialogue and let's talk some real talk. Let's chat. Let's chop it up. Let's find solutions, just like what you guys were saying in here. Let's find solutions for this.
Yo, Israel, I hear you, man. He has a family of 5 as well, and he loves CHH. He said he don't make money from CHH at all. And I mean, there's ways that you can, you know what I'm saying? And you can link up with us if you are trying to navigate that. If not, if you are content with not making money, just putting out content.
I could put you on to some people.
But we have some people that we study, and we have our plans in place that we are going to implement. So that way we can do this full time at some point, if Lord willing. And it is 100% possible. But so if you're willing to chat, you know, we would love to share that info with you, bro.
Definitely, man. And that's what we're trying to do, man. We're not trying to, you know, the goal. The thing is, like, number one, just like you said.
Oh, congrats! Israel got a double award from CHH.
Yo, Israel, that's what's up, man.
Congrats, bro. That's dope.
That's dope, brother, man. Keep doing your thing, man. Yo, Israel, like, real talk, like, this is the stuff that we want to do, you know? If we could spark up, like, there's 5 people up in here right now, and sometimes this thing is off. Afterwards, we get up to like 3,000, close to 5,000. It's all organic. Like I said on the podcast, 60 plus. Even if we had 5,000 people, Israel, and you are one of them that we were able to dialogue with and motivate to get up and keep doing your thing, man, and whatever the case may be, like even if it was just one person that we affected, that's all we're trying to do, man. We're trying to stir things up to bridge those gaps. We want that dialogue. We want that accountability. We want to be able, like, I don't want to keep jumping on this and talking about this kind of stuff. I want to finally get into like actually chopping it up about the artists and the projects and like open this up even bigger, that we all have the sense of unity. You see it with the world, man. You see it with the world. Like these cats in the world, how they support each other, and even when they have beef and how they pick sides. And I'm not saying that we got to do that, but you see how strong, how dedicated they are to the sides they pick. Like, who's doing what. Even us as Christians, we can see like, when the world, how they maneuver and how they, they recognize each other. They see each other moving and doing all these different things. You know what I mean? With Christian hip hop, we have a lot of camps and fans, but we're missing that middle piece that's like bridging all these gaps. And all you hear is wounded, hurt artists time and time again. You hear wounded, hurt artists that are truly talented and truly gifted, and they're being bypassed, overlooked, they're being neglected, they're being kicked to the side. You're not good enough. We don't choose you. I'm tired of that. Yo, one of the artists that I know that's one of the top, CHH, you can jump in here. I stand by this. The top dog of CHH, the potential that this brother has. Now, I'm an artist, so as a rapper, you are supposed to be like, I'm the top dog. That's natural. But I recognize. So if for all those that say I'm salty and I'm a hater and all this stuff, no, I recognize real talent, and I'm gonna show you right now. The top dog of CHH, the top dog, hands down, toe to toe with anybody secular, is my brother Bridge B.
Lamont.
Bridge B. This brother can rap like nobody can. This brother started off as a battle rapper in the streets. This brother was a battle rapper in the streets.
Dude's a beast.
And he was killing it in the streets as a battle rapper before he was Christian. Right? And the boy can sing. The home dude can sing, like carry notes.
That he can sing.
He can rap.
That he can sing.
Write. He can sing. He can battle. He can freestyle. The dog that all of us are all supposed to be rooting and cheering for, as the dude that's carrying that flag out there as our creative, like the one that we celebrate as the top. Wow, he's a phenomenal artist, is Bridge B. The potential that brother has. Like, I was telling Gil the other day, I was like, I kind of feel sad. I feel sad that he was overlooked the way he was overlooked. I feel sad because that dude, if somebody was to sign that dude and help that dude and get him beats and production and set him up for success, like the world would, like if somebody was to set that brother up for success, that dude, the albums that would have came out of Bridge B, my goodness.
Yeah. If you guys don't know, look up anything creative, that is Bridge B, and you will be blown away.
As a creative who's desiring to hear nothing but talent, like I sit back and I'm like, man, where is it at, man? Like, Bridge, where you at? Come on, Bridge. Like, Bridge B. If you don't know who Bridge B is, go do your research, man. Go do your research. That brother is a fun. I'm gassing him up.
He's the best rapper.
I'll say it right now. I'm gassing him up. Yes, I'm gassing up Bridge B.
And Israel saying, start your own thing, bro. When no one signs, you sign yourself.
Exactly, Israel. That's right. And stick together, man. Like, you know what I mean? Like, support one another. Help each other. You know what I'm saying? Like, Israel, share this. Put this out there. If you need help, hit me up. Like, we help each other out, man.
Yeah, he said he's down to chat. Talk about any topic. I said, I'm happy to chat about any topic. Let's chop it up. That's all, Israel.
That's what it is, man. Like, yo, I'm down for sure. Hit me up, hit me private after this, whatever. Yo, I'm down, bro. Like, I just want to move the culture. Like, I see how the world is moving the culture. I see what they're doing, and it inspires me, man. And I don't care. Like, I don't care to get hit. I don't care if people say things like, I mean, Chad called me a girl gossiping. Chad Horton of Rapzilla, the owner, called me a girl gossiping. In a thread with what's his name? My boy Jeremiah Blajan. Salute Infantry. I love y'all. I mean, and I'm okay. I'm good. It's all good. What we're gonna do? Like I always say in my head, like, what we're gonna do? We're gonna meet up. What we're gonna do? We're gonna go at it.
Yeah, we'll put your books up.
It's just silly. But I want to spark dialogue. Like, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Hit me. All right, cool. Hit me. Good. Let's hit each other. Let's keep hitting each other. We're in the gym, bro, and I'm supposed to be your coach. Do you think I'm gonna say, yeah, that's enough. Yeah, that's good. Iron sharpens iron, man. It's not a pretty picture. When you slam that iron, when you're trying to sharpen that sword, that hammer is hitting down. That iron is burning orange. It's light orange. Put yourself in the furnace and get hit by a hammer on the head. That's brotherly love.
Facts, bro.
I think with that, we're good.
I think we covered the topic. If you guys have any questions, hit us up.
We love y'all. We love everybody that was in here. Israel, thanks for the convo. Gary, thanks for the convo. Israel, hit me up.
Yeah, Israel, hit me up too, man. I'll send you all my music. And I'm a singer. I'm not a rapper. But hit me up, bro. I'll send you some stuff.
All right, so next week, I don't know what the dialogue's going to be next week. Yo, if you guys have any suggestions, podcasters, if you guys have any suggestions, anything you want us to do, like I said, we might have a whole new location. It's going to be completely different from this, y'all. I wish I would have had a picture to put up here for you guys to see.
It's going to be sick.
Yeah, I'm praying that, I'm praying this thing takes off, man, and we can have this dialogue. We could chop it up, and we could bring Israel over, and we can have a third seat in Israel. You can hop a seat, and we could chat.
That'd be so dope.
We could fly you out. That's my prayer. Pray for that. So if not me, maybe the next guy inspire, whatever. I'm going to keep doing me for as long as I'm live. So pray for me. Pray for my brother Gil. Marrio Esco live. Till next week. Grace and peace. We love y'all. If you're listening on the podcast, be sure to check out my Facebook music page, Marrio Esco 1. Again, 2 R's in my name, the number 1 at the end, Marrio Esco 1. Be sure to like and follow that page because I like to give updates on who I'll be interviewing and the description I'm talking about. And I also like the real-time one-on-one back and forth interaction. If you don't have the time to join us on Facebook Live, be sure to check out my podcast. It's called Marrio Esco Live, 2 R's in my name. Again, you'll see the white silhouette of myself with the cross underneath. Be sure to subscribe to that and follow the link as well to whatever podcast you're using or however you're receiving the podcast, and leave us a review. We love to hear feedback. You can also hit me up at music@marrioesco.com and just hit me up with some feedback and ways that we can improve the show or the things that you like and enjoy. Any type of feedback will be highly appreciated. Grace and peace.